Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hall, and today I thought I'd share some angel messages with you on how you can tell if you're an empath and the incredible spiritual value of empathic consciousness. Do stick around through the end of this video because I'll also be sharing some tips on how you can hone and empower your spiritual consciousness as an empath too. Empathy is the ability to feel and intimately understand what another person is experiencing from within their perspective. All human beings have the ability to experience empathy, to compassionately understand the experience of others, even if you yourself have never had their exact experience personally. Now, an empath is someone for whom empathy is the leading force in their perspective. And we experience empathy deeply. Empaths sense and experience other people's states of being to such a highly sensitive, intimate degree that those emotions become their own. Empaths essentially absorb the energies and feelings of the world like emotional sponges, often without quite the same filters as the average person. So many of the people I work with in my practice as a healer and angel channeler are empaths. And through that healing work, I've learned that we empaths share several identifying features in common. So here are the key ways you can tell if you are an empath. Number one, sensitivity. Empaths tend to be highly sensitive people. And the basic meaning of what it is to be sensitive is to be more consciously aware and in touch with reality, picking up on everything around you with a higher degree of awareness. Empaths are highly sensitive and thus constantly processing a high degree of energy through their consciousness, which means that we really feel sensitive towards anything that adds something extra to what we're already processing. For example, you may feel highly sensitive in response to things such as others' strong feelings, loud sounds, busy environments, loud personalities, media, and other intensive sensory stimuli. If this sounds like you might be interested in checking out my video on how you can evaluate your high sensitivity here. And then I'll also, of course, leave that link for you in the description below. For empaths, high sensitivity can often be found at each level of being, body, mind, and spirit. Though as with most things, individual experiences vary. Let's talk about physical sensitivity. Many empaths are sensitive to things like foods, beverages, and physical environmental toxins. This is because empathic consciousness is a higher form of spiritual consciousness. And having this consciousness must correspond with having a physical body that can properly act as its instrument. Your body is therefore intelligently programmed to speak up loud and clear when it comes in contact with something that energetically challenges your ability to optimally hold space for the higher consciousness and energy of your empathic nature. So if you experience high physical sensitivity, such as allergies or physical intolerances and so forth, listen to your body. This may be your empathic consciousness speaking to you to help you to create the best experience possible for your life. Mental and emotional sensitivity is perhaps the number one most common experience among empaths. Empaths tend to pick up on emotions around them very easily. For example, you might walk into a room and be able to immediately sense the mood hanging in the environment without having anyone have to explain what's going on. Empaths may also feel it when someone has made a shift in their thoughts, in their perspective, motivation, or intentions. Sort of like mind reading, but not necessarily hearing the exact thoughts in someone else's head. This high sensitivity to thought and emotion makes many empaths identify either as introverts or ambiverts, meaning that they either favor more privacy and alone time or just need that privacy and alone time sometimes in order to balance out more extroverted moments. in order to adjust to the high amount of energy that we absorb in social situations. In close relationships, empaths will find that's where we're most sensitive to emotions. Empaths are born to be intimately tied in understanding and compassion in their relationships. They share emotional and spiritual space with those closest to them at a very highly tuned level. And this often feeds into the kinds of relationship dynamics that empaths attract. Now, many empaths also experience high sensitivity to the spirit world. And those that aren't necessarily aware of this kind of spiritual sensitivity actually have the ability to awaken it if they choose to. Sensitivity to the spirit world involves being able to feel the spiritual plane. This can include feeling the deeper spiritual state of another person in your life, feeling the spiritual presence or messages of a loved one in heaven, feeling the presence of angels or other spiritual beings who may be guiding you, or feeling maybe the spirit of nature. Spiritual sensitivity can also extend to feeling big shifts in the world in response to cosmic events, such as lunar cycles, eclipses, solar flares, and other kinds of shifts like that. Generally, though high sensitivity can be a challenge for many of us empaths, know that it's also part of what makes you special. And it is possible for you to balance your high sensitivity in such a way that you're able to stand in your power and never feel overwhelmed by it. In fact, I'm going to be teaching about how to balance sensitivity and hone it for optimal spiritual awareness in my upcoming Empaths Empowerment course. So if you are interested in balancing your sensitivity, do add your name to my Empaths Empowerment email list in the description below, and I will send you some more information soon. Now, let's talk about the second key way you can tell if you're an empath, and that's by your relationship patterns. Because empaths are so tuned in to other people's emotions, we tend to be highly compassionate. We care about others and want them to be happy and healthy because, at a deeper level, we sense how important each individual's well-being is to the collective. For empaths, high levels of compassion may often lead your values and perspectives in your relationships. This can lead to developing a very giving nature. Because you want everyone to feel comfortable and happy, and you can feel the benefits when they are, you may find yourself going out of your way to uplift those around you. And the people who know you also likely see and identify your giving nature. Perhaps you're the person others turn to in times of need. You're a confidant, advice giver, or sounding board for the people that you care about because they feel safe, seen, taken care of, and understood in your presence. However, if you don't balance your giving side with proper receiving, then this can actually create some negative relationship patterns. And for empaths, this can unfortunately be quite common. Many empaths who are exposed to harsh, abusive, or unhealthy family, relationship, or community conditions are prone to codependency. This is where your giving nature becomes imbalanced to the unhealthy degree that you chronically find yourself trying to rescue others from the problems they should be solving themselves and enabling negative behavioral patterns in others. Codependency also coincides with poor boundaries, low levels of self-love, and feelings of disempowerment in relationships. If this sounds like something you experience, then I have good news for you. You can turn this around and take back your power. It is part of your divine purpose to hold boundaries that empower your empathic consciousness of love and compassion in this world. And that is actually a core part of what I'll be teaching in my Empaths Empowerment course with the angels. So again, if you're feeling called to heal and change those patterns in your life, go ahead and sign up for the Empaths Empowerment email list that you'll find in the description below, and I'll send you more information on just how you can begin to do that. Now, the third key way you can identify an empath is by way of your sense of divine life's purpose. Empaths are often people who feel called to a higher purpose. We see the need for more love and compassion in this world, and we want to spread those things. If you feel like you were put in this world to make it a better place, to love, to teach, or to heal others, then you are likely gifted with empathic consciousness. Empaths want to make the world more peaceful, compassionate, and gentle for all beings, by the way. So while some empaths are called to be great healers, leaders, teachers, or parents to human beings, others are called to act as healers, leaders, nurturers for animals and the environment. Empaths also make great storytellers, artists, and overall way showers because we have a unique understanding of the world that can give others a window into the collective human soul and therein find truth. There's an incredible spiritual value in empathic consciousness. You see, empaths all share a collective spiritual purpose to uplift consciousness. We have a consciousness of higher empathy and compassion that reflects being more fully aware of our oneness with each other and all of creation. And that consciousness is the driving force in humanity's spiritual evolution now. It's the force that will help us all create a more peaceful, loving world. So because the purpose of your empathic consciousness is so important, here are some tips from the angels on how to empower and uplift yourself as an empath. Number 1, engage in self-care to support your sensitivity. Listen to your heart and honor your needs. Clear your energy regularly by syncing with nature, quiet, or spiritually healing forces that will empower you to feel balanced and at peace in your sensitivity. Number 2, uplift and balance your relationships. Become conscious and aware of the patterns in your relationships and ensure that you balance giving with receiving. Remember that while love is an unconditional force, relationships are not. In order for love to exist and thrive in your relationships must include healthy boundaries and standards. And number 3, call in your angels. Your angels are wise, powerfully healing beings who can help you to regularly clear your energy, stay grounded and balanced in your sensitivity, uplift your relationships, and hone your empathic awareness to its highest expression of empowerment. And that's exactly why I channel the angels in my work to guide and heal empaths, because they can help you to experience miracles of healing and empowerment. With the proper foundation of support, healing, and self-care, empaths are powerful and can change the world. I'll be sharing more about all that we've discussed here in this video and more with channeled guidance and healing experience from the angels in my Empaths Empowerment Healing Journey. So if you're feeling guided to empower your consciousness as an empath, again, go ahead and click the link that I left for you in the description below, and I'll send you more on the steps that you can take. Until we meet again, know that your angels are with you. Your empathic consciousness has a purpose, and of course that you are so loved and so very blessed. Bye!